if I can't speak because I won't be able to necessarily speak, I'll just give a thumbs up.
We can hear you. Okay, yeah, I got you.
I, 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 I'm in an environment I may not be able to speak.
No, that's fine. I got you. I heard you. Is it right? All right, good afternoon. I am calling the Pelham Elementary School Committee to order. It is now 5:35 p.m. And I am going to do roll call because we have two virtual participants. So Jenny, here. Margaret,
Here.
Sarah. William, thumbs up.
Here.
Rachel.
Here.
Here. I didn't hear you. Okay.
Yes,
Right.
here.
All right, first order of business is reorganization. For those of you who are joining, the superintendent has the honor of starting off the reorg and opening the voting for chair. Once the new chair takes over, then the chair will continue with the rest of the reorg of the school committee. The first speak up is chair. Are there any nominations? You feel free to nominate yourself or to nominate a person, and then we'll see if there is a second.
I would nominate Sarah Bess.
Okay.
I will nominate myself.
Yeah.
Do we need to make a second or?
Do we need a second for nominations or do we?
Yes.
Yes.
I said, I don't know if you heard, I said Sarah Bess. I don't know if you want to.
No, I did. I heard
Oh,
you.
okay. And then I would also nominate Rachel.
Okay, so Sarah Bess. William with a second. Margaret.
I will second.
Okay, Jenny, seconds. And Rachel for William, is there a second?
Wait, who's second? What were you second?
I'm
Margaret.
seconding.
Margaret, okay.
And then is there a second for Rachel?
I will second it.
Okay, Margaret. All right. Next, so Sarah Bess, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Margaret, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Rachel, do you accept the nomination?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to allow each person time to talk about why they would be a better chair, and then I'll go around for vote by person. So we'll start with Sarah.
I think I would be a good chair. I've been chair of the region for several years now, 3 years now. So I bring a lot of experience with open meeting law, and my kids went through Pelham from the time they had it at school. So I have, deep connection to the school. And I think Pelham has a year of tough decisions that are going to require strong organizational skills, and I have those.
Thank you.
I believe that I have a lot of experience here in Pelham. I've been on the Pelham committee for 8 years. We'll be going into my 9th year. I have good connections with people throughout the community, and this coming year is a time when we're going to need that because of the things that are happening with Pelham and the community and the school.
Thank you. Rachel?
Are you able to hear me? It seemed like you weren't.
Yeah.
I would be happy to step in as chair or vice chair. My background is really in finances and facilitation and managing a team, and my understanding of the chair's role is primarily those 3 areas. I also think there is a lot of value in having a direct connection to the elementary school, which I have currently and will have for the next 12 years. And I think those are all big pieces of both being able to do the work and being able to have buy-in and trust from the community.
Thank you. All right, so we will We will vote, and I guess I will call each person, and then I will have to call each person to see who, I don't know, the best way to say who you vote for, I don't know, what's the easiest one,
I think the name of the person,
and then let everyone vote.
no, like Jenny, who do you vote for?
Thank you. That's how, alright. Okay, so I will start virtually, because I want to make sure I give them the time to speak. And so you got the thumbs up. William, who do you vote for?
Sarah Bess.
Alright, Rachel, who do you vote for?
I vote for myself.
Okay, you said yourself, right? Because it's frozen. Okay. Jenny, who do you vote for? Margaret. Margaret, who do you vote for?
Margaret.
Sarah, who do you vote for?
Sarah.
Okay, alright, so. Now we're gonna go back and vote and narrow this down. We're between Sarah Bess and Margaret, because they both have 2 votes. And so I'll do a second round of votes. William, who do you vote for, Sarah Bess and Margaret?
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. I vote for Sarah Bess.
Okay, thank you. Rachel?
I vote for Sarah Bess.
Okay, Jenny? Margaret. Margaret?
I will vote for myself.
Sarah Bess?
Sarah.
Sarah Bess, okay. Sarah Bess has 3 votes, and so now I hand the vote over to you, Sarah Bess, as the chair of.
Thank you. I will take nomination for vice chair.
Nominate Rachel.
Rachel, do you accept?
Yes, and I'll second that because we need a second.
William. Oh, I don't want to do this. Okay. Are there any other nominations? No. Okay. William, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rachel.
Yes.
Sarah. Yes. Rachel.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Rachel, you are vice chair. Ooh. And we need a secretary. Secretary also has to do the minute. And the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary make up the Pelham portion of the Union 26 committee.
I'd like to nominate William for that.
Okay. William, do you accept the nomination? That is a thumbs up. Say yes. I will second that from William. Any other? No. Okay. William, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Jenny,
Yes.
and Margaret.
Yes.
Excellent. What?
You vote.
Oh, and Sarah votes yes. What? Okay. And now the other are, we need 2 regional reps. And joint policy subcommittee.
And CPAC?
Does Pelham have a CPAC? I don't think Pelham has a CPAC.
I've been the CPAC rep for the last year. And William was before me.
On Pelham.
Yes, for Pelham.
At some point, we need to fix that because the Pelham district doesn't have a seat. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we need a. Okay. So 1 CPAC. And 1 PTO. Rep. Not all of them.
And joint, did you say, joint policy?
Yes, it is. Okay, so maybe.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So, for regional representatives,
I will nominate Jenny.
sorry, I would like to continue on as regional, rep. I've been there for a while, my kids are still there. And I have been working with the APA to wrap up their latest negotiations, which includes the stipends, which we are still working at. Are there any?
Are you remaining chair of the regional committee?
I am until the next meeting and then we will reorganize.
Okay.
I nominate myself also as that I would like to continue the work that I'm doing on the region.
Okay. Anything further? Any other?
Do you need seconds or no?
That was Margaret, I nominated myself. Yes, I need a second, please.
I'll second for Sarah Bess.
And I'll second for William.
Okay.
And I guess I'll second for me. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yes, it is. So you can, your vote is just as good as everybody else's when you are voting for yourself. Okay. Jenny, would you like to speak to being the regional representative?
I would. I have 2 kids at the high school, and that was my primary motivation for joining the school committee, was to be able to represent the region. I think I'm the only person on this school committee, and maybe all 3 school committees, who actually has a background in education. I feel like I bring a unique voice to the conversation, because I'm the person who speaks up on behalf of education when everybody else seems to be speaking about finance. So I think that is a responsibility that I would like to take on. And I feel it's important to be held by somebody who is a Pelham resident full time.
William.
So I am also an educator. I taught kindergarten for several years and I have a degree in education. So there are multiple ones of us in the room that actually have a background in education. I think that I have done a lot of work in the schools that have been very positive, and I'm in a
Like, why are the
difficult
screens-
place. I'm in a difficult place today, so I can't really say much more than that, but I think my track record speaks. And really trying to, as Dr. Z always knows, I'm always pushing the bullying, but I try to do my best that I can with being respectful in our disagreements. And I think I push the administration to continue to grow and continue to do the work, but I do it in a respectful manner, or at least try to.
I think that might before. Okay, so I think it's probably going to be easiest to do the same thing we did the first time with the chair. Your first pick, and then we'll do our round 2. Rachel.
Sorry, I didn't fully understand. Do you want me to name my 2 votes or just one at a time?
I think we'll do one and then the other. I think
Okay.
that will be less confusing.
Sure.
Hard, okay, so we'll do two.
Okay.
Do your top 2.
Yes, it's.
My
I don't
votes
know
are
why I
for
keep
Sarah
doing that.
Bess and William. Seth, I don't know if you know we're hearing you in the screen, but my votes are for Sarah Bess and William.
Jenny.
My votes are for Sarah Bess and myself.
Margaret.
I will vote for Jenny and Sarah Bess.
I will start my name for your initial. You said Jenny and. I will vote for myself and for. William.
I will vote for myself and for Sarah Bess.
Okay. So our two regional reps are myself and William. We need a joint policy subcommittee.
Can I do a point of order really quickly? I really apologize. I'm at a funeral for my husband's father, so I'm going to step off. But thank you for all the support.
Take care of yourself and your family. Okay. Joint policy subcommittee. Okay. We need a Pelham representative. Any takers?
I'm interested in joining the joint policy subcommittee.
Anyone else interested? No? Okay.
I mean, do we nominate William or no?
Are there
We
two?
only have one.
Oh, because he does it for the region?
Well,
Well, they'll have to reorganize
Right.
also.
Okay,
So Pelham just has to worry about who their Pelham person is.
gotcha.
So,
Oh, okay, no question.
any other takers? Rachel, do you accept?
Yeah, I
You're the
do.
winner. Okay, CPAC. Which sounds like it needs a little sorting out, but if that's what we had before, we can. I don't. Is there a list of Pelham subcommittees somewhere?
no, we don't have any subcommittees. We have somebody on this year for the first time on regional subcommittee. That is the first time we've ever had one. Now, as far as I know, we've never CPAC. I know Rachel said she's been representing us at CPAC, but
I took over from William. William had been doing it he told me for the 2 years before.
I don't remember us ever voting to do that.
I don't. Alright, here's what I would like to do. I would like to hold on the CPAC until we have a little more information on it. If Pelham, I don't remember Pelham having a CPAC because they're supposed to be by district, correct? Okay, so we need a little more info.
It's really common for CPACs to be joint district across the state. I mean, we don't need to do this tonight. I'll be at CPAC meetings regardless, but our CPAC calls itself the Pelham, Amherst, and Regional CPAC.
Okay, well, let's find a little more information. Maybe there's some paperwork somewhere or something that we can figure out, and then we'll bring the CPAC rep back for the next time. Okay, and then PTO.
I'd be happy to do that.
Excellent. Anyone else? Feelings? Margaret. You're the winner. Okay. Okay. Public comment, I assume we didn't receive any. Superintendent update.
This committee. All right, so thank you to Colleen, and she's here to back me up. I know that the request was for a quarterly update, however, when we looked at it, we had just provided an update in early May, end of April, and so what we decided to attach was a year-to-date update, because the school year is about to end. I believe overall throughout the entire year, we've had about 9 reports filed. 4 were investigated unfounded, 3 were confirmed bullying or harassment. And then there are 2 that actually were duplicates, and so we have 7 distinct incidents. I'm doing you proud so far, Colleen. All right, good.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Z. Thank you.
She went through and kind of listed out. No, it's to do this type of report is much easier for Pelham because it's a much smaller school district. So it will not look the same if we were to do it at the region or to do it at Amherst, but this helps us to kind of narrow down to specific classrooms or specific individuals in the presentation of this. What we do see as a district is like we see repeat in first grade. And so I believe that there's some behaviors that have kind of bubbled up, and in speaking with Mickey and Dwayne and specifically supporting Mickey, I kind of know kind of what's been happening and what is what I want to kind of narrow in on is the responses and the ability for us to kind of direct and see that there's a holistic response here in Pelham outside of just like safety plans, which is outlined. There's also a level of, and it's not listed for all, but the counseling is clear in terms of the counseling team, school adjustment counselor, and the guidance counselor working together to support students and support families. All cases were closed in Pelham, all of them were thoroughly investigated, all of them had staff assigned. We can actually think that we could use Pelham as like a model for like, here are the steps to follow through that we need to get things done. We also know that, and I don't know, Colleen, I want to hand it over to you to see if there's anything you want to add in terms of the Pelham overview.
Yeah, no, just to echo everything that you said, Dr. Z, Pelham is really a model school on, on a smaller scale than some of the other schools. It's really almost like a little pilot site for what BRIM usage should look like, which is great because on that smaller population, we can see all of the incidents, we can see exactly what happened, and we can see what happens when staff are utilizing the system as it was intended and when it can be implemented, sort of when everybody works together because they're all, in it every day. They know all the students. A report comes in, they're like, oh, that's, Joe Schmo, and he's, in third grade, and this is what's happening with him, and everybody is sort of like embedded in the culture there, and it's really, I'm not saying their jobs are simple by any means, and Mickey, you can feel free to speak up any time to shut me up, but they reach out for support from the districts, from Dr. Z or from my office or from Marta whenever they need it, to ask for consultation or for help. And it's sort of just everything's working as it's intended to. So on a broader scale with other schools, to extrapolate that or to scale up and out that practice, I think it just gives us a good idea that it can work on a broader scale. So it gives a little bit of hope to our office that hopefully we can apply some of their practices upward and outward a little bit more. But they're doing a great job, and we can still identify that in those bullying incidents that did occur, all the follow through happened. Abby and Mickey working together with the other counselors, the students are getting the level of follow through and follow up that the community was so badly asking for the entire region. So great job, guys.
And when I say the whole process, I think Pelham was also the one out of the two appeals I had this year. Pelham was one of the 2 appeals. So when I say they walked through the whole process, Pelham has gone through the whole process, including an appeal to the superintendent. And so it's been very clear. The package that was received from the school had witness statements, showed the process of what occurred. I was able to speak to the parent and create a whole picture. So.
Well, yeah, Margaret, I'm curious, this is a very nice report format. Is this something that comes out of the system or?
No, this comes out of Colleen. Whatever Colleen put together, this is not how the school the formatting comes in, it's actually jumbled, and she did a really good job putting it
Yeah,
all together.
it makes it very easy to follow and to understand. It's very nice.
She's awesome. Thank you, Colin.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Yes, and the report looks fantastic. It's really easy to follow. And thank you really to the adults on the ground that made this system come together and work so well. Okay,
Thank you, Colleen.
update on state of the district summit.
Thank you to everyone who was able to attend the summit. I attached the PowerPoint to the board docs. It's also on our website, arps.org. arps.org/SOTD. You'll see the video clips of the different sections as well as the full PowerPoint, and even an FAQ form for us to like collect questions, so we can start to create that FAQ account. The purpose of the summit was to start delving into the data conversations around what's happening in all three of our districts and what are we seeing. And we came from a high level in terms of, you know, the academic conversation was, hey, compared to the state, we are outpacing. Everyone talks about us compared to the state, but when we really delve into our actual numbers, we're not doing so well with our subgroups. And there's some deeper instructional work that needs to happen. There's some standardization around how we need to address certain things. And that's kind of hard because everyone feels like the conversation around curriculum or around instruction is one where there should be a lot of fluency and flexibility, which in terms of using things as a resource, yes, but we're also seeing that there's something that we are missing when it comes to that flexibility and fluidity when it comes to our subgroups. So our English learners, our students with needs, our Black and Brown students, students of color, they're all our subgroups, and there's more high needs, low income that we are not serving well, and that's across all three districts. And so it was a really great summit. Everyone came and participated. And I think that one of the key things was for individuals to be able to talk about what they would be able to do when they come back to their committees, to their communities, and their commitments to the district.
Thank you. Any questions or follow-ups?
I have a comment. So I was struck when I was looking at slide 53, which shows that Pelham's academic trends have actually been trending downwards over many years in math and also in ELA. And I feel like this is the first time that I've seen this data presented in this way. We've seen data from Pelham in a lot of different presentations, and it doesn't tell this story. And so this is actually a very important story, I think, and it is in many ways the most important story for us to be talking about as we think about like how to support this school going forward. And so I'm raising it just because it feels like it's something. It doesn't make a lot of sense to spend time talking about, you know, this year's MCAS versus next year's MCAS, this year's iReady versus last year's iReady, whatever. Like we're and I feel like I've been asking for this like year over like time over. I've been asking for this slide since I joined the committee. This is a conversation piece. I feel like this is the conversation that we should be having as a committee about, because I think we've heard there's so much about Pelham that is wonderful and that is to be celebrated, and this is problematic. This is not the data that we want to see for our kids over time. And so I guess I'm just raising it as it feels like an important conversation for us to have, not you know, I think we're putting a lot of attention on the future of the school, and I think we need to talk about like the present of the school and how do we better support the school, how do we better sort of organize the school so that we see this data moving in the opposite direction.
So I agree. That was the purpose of the summit, to kind of bridge that gap into the conversation. I think at my evaluation, you asked me how come I don't talk a lot about instruction. And that was my time on stage to kind of really delve into the data and what we're seeing. This came out of us having the data chats that I have with the I started it last year with the principals. And this year I added the departments. So SSO, special education came in. They presented their data, English learners came in, we did ELA, we did mathematics. We had a lot of departments, I can't remember all of them. And so, and then I just had the second loop and circling of schools, right? So the schools did their second data chats. And what came from the ground level view was one thing, because we had a conversation at the beginning of the year when we talk about the trends of our English learners across the different schools. But then when we were able to bring it in by department, that's when I was like, wait a minute, we need to have a deeper and broader conversation, because all of these groups, right, all of these stakeholder groups are talking about supporting schools. Whether it's the school committees, whether it's CPAC, whether it's MPAC, everyone has their focus. I had, and we're just on a Roger Wallace Foundation there, because everyone's like, oh, we support the schools. But we're seeing where we're ending up very similarly, either in the same place or lower than where we were within a 9-year gap. And so one of the things on this page is that the metrics changed at one point in terms of what they were measuring. But also you see where we clearly identified the pandemic disruption, but we haven't really closed that gap since there. So something in 2018, we're upwards on an upward trend, and then the pandemic hit, but we haven't regained that. And I think that there's some things that when we talk about, you know, what we've been doing, what Miki's been doing, and how I pulled it together in terms of the program review conversation, there's some things in the present that's being done. I think that there is a conversation about the future of the school and all of those things, but it's sort of instructionally, really looking at where our gaps are is a deeper conversation that we really need to have. And it's hard because when we present the information, we try our best not to have identifiers. But it's even harder because if we don't present that information by class, digging down into who it is, not even teacher, we could say teacher A, teacher B, but if we don't dig deeper, then as a school committee, you really aren't able to make those decisions. So if we can continue with academic trend data, that actually will help, because this is an eye opener. It was an eye opener for me when we delved into it as a district team. And I wanted it to be an eye opener to the community on what we're truly doing at DC.
I appreciate that.
Anything further on this? Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if you can see him. Yeah. Mickey, I'm wondering if you can help with this, but my hunch based on numbers I understand in the school, I understand what Jenny's pointing to, and because numbers are so low, when we're seeing this like 57 to even 49%, I think we're talking about like 3 students. Is that about right?
So sorry, I just want to make sure I'm on the right page too. Oh, I just lost it too.
53.
Yeah. I don't know if is this the whole school, Dr. Z,
Yeah,
or is just
this is everyone from who takes MCAS.
Everyone who takes MCAS, yeah.
so it's not just one grade?
No, we wanna do that. It's a full school.
Um,
And
when
MCAS is, remind me, 3rd through 6th?
4th through 6th, right? Or 3rd through 6th.
it's 3rd through 6th.
Mhm.
Rachel, can you ask your question again?
I'm just wondering, like, say a 5% drop, about how many students is that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many. So I would have to do some math. I don't have
Sure.
it in my head. But I also when I'm looking at that graph, I see that the state also goes down. I don't love that we're going down, but I do want to just caution people when looking at MCAS results that it depends on what the questions are, and sometimes the questions are like, you know, some of them are ridiculous, and I think hard to understand. So if they put in some questions, let's say on, I would really love to see like by question compared to the state, how we did, if that makes sense. And I have often done that, but I'm not prepared for like that today. Um, but I just want to like caution against relying too much on just MCAS.
So I don't think the conversation is just MCAS. We don't have academic trend data, like for example, for iReady, because you know that we're in, and that's our diagnostic, but for example, in reading, this is our first year using it in reading, and I think we've used it multiple years in math, correct? So for me, what this, and to be clear, this is meeting or exceeding. This is not for students who are below that. This is for students who are meeting or exceeding expectations, which even includes the sixth graders from that year or the year before. So those 5 students could have been sixth graders, and could have moved forward to middle school. What is telling in this conversation is that if you notice in 2017 in ELA, we're at 56%. In 2024, we're at 57%. And I'm sure there's population conversations, like there's a lot of stories that can be told when we look at data. It's not about trying to justify whether it was 4, 5, or 6 students. It's about what's happening with the students that's in front of us and what do we need to do to implement instruction to shift them. Because if 49% are meeting or exceeding, that means that how many? 51% are not, right? So that's what we need to look at, is that 51% have not met the standards. And so that's the conversation around, even if it's 10 students, how do we differentiate to pull them in a small group? What does that look like? What are the so it's to drive the conversation, not and what does that story is. And so I started off the summit by saying a lot of times we use data to justify what we want it to versus looking at the data to tell the story of what it truly is. And so that's what it is for me.
And I will say, I mean, I don't love standardized tests. I would never judge a school based on one test. But regardless of how many kids it is, these trends are not moving in the direction that we want to see them moving. And I am quite confident in saying that when we saw those significant increases from 2017 to 2019, nobody was saying, oh, but that's only 3 kids. People were celebrating it because that was a significant gain. So I think it is an important trend to not use the numbers to tell the story we want to tell, but to really dig into the numbers and understand what some kids are thriving here, there's no question. And obviously there are a lot of kids, 49% of our kids, 51% of our kids are not at or above the standards. Like that's an important thing for us to recognize and talk about.
I'm really sorry.
No,
I have to go because it is senior award tonight, so I leave you in capable hands.
So Sarah Beth, I'll take over facilitating from here.
Yep.
Okay.
You're vice chair, right?
Yeah, I don't know who's taking notes. I just right now realized because William's not here.
I don't know.
Do my best.
I can start from here, but I just realized that maybe.
Right. Bye, kids. Good luck. Thank you.
Congrats to your senior, Sarah Beth. I just wanted to. I'm doing some learning myself, and I imagine Mickey would have plenty to offer to teach us in this area, or Tanya, or Dr. Z. But I'm just learning some outside of this space about looking at data for small schools being it just is different, and interpreting the data has to be done differently. I didn't have like a conclusion there. I just kind of wanted to point to that as a factor, as like we're looking at this across from Amherst and the region, and I think there's different takeaways. I don't quite know what they are, but I think that's something that will be helpful for us to learn as a committee.
And that's one of the reasons we have that note on the bottom up under it. It says, no, Pelham Elementary School represents a small student cohort. Minor shifts in individual student performance can cause significant year-over-year percentage about validity. So like making sure we always have that note when we present about Pelham. Because we understand that one student can make a drastic difference when it comes to 120. But we
Right.
also, and then we balance that with what is it saying for us? So
Right.
like that's where we have that deeper dive into the conversation.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Jenny, can I actually take you up on taking notes? Because part of why I'm there is because I'm taking pain meds, so I should not try to take notes and facilitate. Okay. Was there anything else, Dr. Z, that you wanted to make sure to highlight from this State of the Districts?
No,
Okay, thank you.
Mickey and Nancy are thing.
Yeah, Mickey, principals update is next.
Yeah, so I don't feel well, so I'm gonna be quick. I, in looking at the agenda, saw that there was the bullying and also a data chat. So I thought I'd just like highlight all the events that we're doing. And in talking with Dr. Z, that's what we decided. So we're doing a lot of end of year events. We went to Groff Park last Friday. It was a lot of fun, very successful. Um, we, sorry. Um, we also had a 4 week, we're still in the middle of it, pause challenge where kids are each week focusing on part of our pause, like practicing kindness, accepting responsibility, working together. And the individual classes are earning like extra recess time or things like that. No little tchotchkes. We got rid of those. Um, just to help with behavior because as most people transition into summer, most kids feel, um, a little bit of anxiety and that can come out as behavior when they're, not look like they don't know how to feel about moving on to the next grade and or leaving their friends for the summer or what their summer looks like. So we do see an increase in behaviors. And the 4 weeks of the pause challenge have proven to be a good thing to implement. We also have had some Spirit Fridays, which have been fun. We have Field Day this Friday and Activity Day, which is teachers have created activities and kids get to choose like I think it's 3 activities to go to, so they rotate. And like the 6th grade teacher will do water rockets outside. You can choose to do yoga with a certain teacher, or I did Zumba one year. That was crazy because doing Zumba for almost 2 hours was a long time. Um, but the kids rotate and they get to choose, and that's really fun. And we also do what's called a step up, where kids will go to their next year teacher for the app, like for 20 minutes or so. And the next year teacher will give them a little bit of a highlight of what's to come and get to ask questions and see the classroom, which is always a good, like a little moment in time for them to think about over the summer. And just to give a little bit of a shout out to the staff and the students, our our pursuit of productive struggle is really proving to be productive. I didn't mean to do that, but the teachers are emailing me, texting me, coming to my office saying, have you looked at so and so's data? Have you looked at their math data? Have you looked at their reading data? kids are making huge jumps and gains in their data, and the students, the staff are sharing it with the students, and the students are feeling really great and proud of that. So our intentions are proving to be, what's the word? Profitable? Not profitable. Productive? I don't know. So it's giving all of us a lot of hope that what we're doing is working, because as a former special ed teacher, it is for some kids, it's really hard to move that needle. And this was our hope to move the needle for some of our kids, and it is proving to be working. So that's exciting.
Thank you, Mickey. You left out one of the fun days that I just have to say because I got to see it, but the fifth grade earned like
Oh,
worked their
yes.
butts off and earned a Survivor Day, which is the first time that this fifth grade teacher has ever done it. But it was not just fun, it was like amazing to watch how the kids supported each other through really hard challenges that a bunch of ridiculous dads put together, that like kids were struggling and they did not, none of that, those kids let each other fail. Yeah, it was pretty outstanding to see. So
Thanks for
thank you
bringing
for all
that up. Yeah, that was awesome. It was really awesome.
yeah,
They had to do a baby puzzle with a blindfold on,
yeah,
and someone had to tell them how to do it. So that was really, really fun to watch.
yeah.
And the sixth grade's going to Camp Massasoit tomorrow, which is like ropes courses and working together. And they usually have a really good time. So that's good.
Um, okay, amazing. Student handbook. I know this was with the note at the top that it's still being updated. Dr. Z or Mickey, did I have a couple questions, but did either of you want to highlight anything in here for us?
No.
Really, my only question and request in your updates is to please make sure that the cameras get added in there. I just noticed they're not. And I imagine that's on your list, but I don't want to let that get lost because that needs to get in there. Is there anything else that's already changed that folks should know about?
Usually handbook review starts around this time. There's a lot of the schools are trying to get done, and so.
Yeah.
We also have June 22nd, we're gonna be doing a lot of policy review. With all the policies that are coming forth from the joint policy subcommittee. So there's some things that might have to change in the handbooks altogether, like our volunteer procedures and core checks and different things like that, so.
So you'll
well,
save it to do all at once.
Right, so it's very hard to hand in the handbook now, but we wanted to make sure that it was sent forward so that everyone can review it, and if there's something else that needs to come forward, I just actually sent through the chair. If there's other comments or different things.
Sure. And I also, I don't know if this is for us to know or not. I'm curious if the temporary kindergarten teacher is staying. I know her name is still in there. Is that something to share in this space or not? Not right now.
No.
Okay.
That's a personal matter.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Mickey, is there anything on the handbook you wanted to point out for us? Thank you. Okay. The school futures update, I will go through. Seth, are you able to put this on the screen for folks?
Not easily. Give me a second.
Wait, maybe I can.
Oh, if you could share your screen,
Yeah.
that would be a lot easier.
Yeah, that works.
Perfect.
Great. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to read to everybody, but I want to just go through kind of high level. There's a lot of conversation about this being a big year for Pelham, and it is a big year for Pelham, and also what we are finding as we look at the finances and kind of where we are is this has been an ongoing trend for quite a long time. We're not at so much of a tipping point, we still have a decent amount of money in the revolving choice fund, even as we dip in more than in the past. Some of the big things I want to highlight are here, which is the committee and the finance committee and other folks were given a quote or an overview of about $6 million of expenses that would need to be spent in 5 years in digging in, and I'm still doing some digging, but in digging in on that with Shannon and with MSBA, it looks like we'd be spending as a town $2.5 to $3 million over 10 years, which is a very different scenario, and will significantly change the outlook for us. So I wanted to just point that out. The other things that are in terms of trends and understanding is that this year's kindergarten and first grade have significantly low enrollment, but they are an anomaly among the school. And there have been other years over the last 25 years that had dips in enrollment. It's not clear yet if that's gonna become a trend or not, and is something that we're looking at as we do a fuller analysis. This is a long list, but we are exploring 12 different options, and I gave a overview of where we are on some of them. The big things I want to point out for folks is that becoming a K through 5 school looks like it would be a costly endeavor and not save money. Regionalizing with Amherst is complicated because of their new school and the associated debt. Regionalizing with smaller schools, when I wrote this, we didn't have enough data. We still don't quite have enough data, but it's complicated because smaller schools are also small. And while we have a small Pelham resident population, it still would be a significant increase for a nearby school. We're looking at what closing would mean in terms of town, in terms of the impact on town and home values and all the rest, because it does have an impact on those things. I'm in conversation with Dr. Z's wonderful colleague, Shannon Cleveland, White Cleveland, and Union 28 about how their union works and other models for small schools. We are talking some about taking a more strategic approach to choice students rather than defaulting to having all 7 grades open in the school, which is related to the mixed grade model. Increasing revenue sources seems like a limited income generator, but not nothing.
Sorry, what was that last one?
Increasing revenue sources. I'm sorry, I'm talking so fast. And we are looking at the concept of an innovation school, which is in other states, I'm more familiar with that being called a magnet school, but becoming a like specialized school that doesn't increase money, but may increase the like novelty of the school, so might increase numbers. And we just last week decided that we're going to start looking into exploring a K through 8 model. There's a lot to do, but we're in a really good place. The whole committee is working hard and having lots of conversations with folks in town, nearby towns, many conversations with Shannon, which I'm appreciative of, Dr. Z and team. And this is kind of the pulse update. In September, we will have a report, and we are anticipating in August, September, putting out a survey and holding a forum. We will share those dates with the school committee as soon as we have it. Dr. Z, is there anything you want to add? Because you're on there too.
I think it's really great. There's some forums coming up. And some in-person meetings, and I got to engage with 3 wonderful people that I never got to engage with directly before, Kara, Sarah, and Anne. So it's really great to even engage at that level and explain a lot about the schools, and Anne was there at the forum today.
Yeah.
It was helpful.
Yeah, and I think just I was at Groff Park Day, and there's a lot of interest from teachers and parents to share what their vision for the future is. So I'm looking forward to being able to gather more of that as we go.
Sorry, you said you're gonna send out a survey in August, September, full report in December?
There's going to be a midpoint. The select board is calling it a midpoint report in September and then another one in December. There will be a
Okay.
report in September and then a final report in December.
Okay.
It will be a tight turnaround there. The September report will not reflect the survey and forums I'm anticipating, but the December report will. Okay, committee, are there other, the next thing on the agenda is committee updates. Are there any other things folks want to share?
I don't think so. No, I don't have anything.
The PTO president had her baby. I'm gonna put together an e-card. That is my only committee update, but FYI, Brittany had her baby. I am wondering if we should coordinate the retreat when all 5 of us are able to engage with that.
The school committee goals?
Oh, thank you.
On the
School
retreat.
committee goals. Are there updates there? I didn't mean to.
No. So I've been communicating with Tracy Novick. Between the information you all sent and her schedule, she's given us 5 days in August that she could work with us for our retreat. And yeah, whatever you want to do to figure out which of those dates. I had some conversation with her around what it might be, and my thought was that, but again, this will be something for the committee, I guess the committee to decide at some point as a group, to talk about our role as a committee. There have sometimes been some tensions, maybe not necessarily with us, but in the district between school committee and superintendent, and that Tracy might be working with districts. And also to help us, and maybe at that point, we could go through the goals we did for this year, see what worked, what didn't, and talk about goals for next year. So that's my update on that.
Okay, great.
And I don't know if Sarah Bess wants to take over the communication or how you want to deal with that.
Could
With
you,
Tracy.
yeah, could you forward that chain to Sarah Bess and me? I'll just update Sarah. I'll connect with Sarah Bess and just update her.
Yeah.
And then she can decide how she wants to proceed
Okay.
with goals and dates. Yeah.
I would be glad to do that.
Thank you. And it sounds like you have a few dates in that list, in that email chain from Tracy.
Yes, these are the dates she gave me based on our availability.
Great. Okay. Is there anything, Jenny or me, that we want to add to retreat content that might be helpful also for Sarah Bess?
I don't know, I've never been to a retreat. I don't know what's like the norm for these retreats, but I do think. I personally would like to understand more about, I mean, maybe it's redundant with like the school future stuff, like. Sarah Beth seemed super excited when the idea of becoming of magnet school came up, and I was like, I don't even know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like it would be good to hear from someone on mask, whatever, like about sort of, I would be interested in their take on some of the scenarios that the School Futures Committee is looking at, particularly around becoming an independent school. I'm curious when you talk about becoming more strategic about choice students, like if they have any insights that they could offer around that. Like I think it would just be helpful to have their perspective on some of the more likely scenarios. Like, it sounds like some of the work that you've done to date, there's already things that you're sort of saying like probably not going to get us where we want to be, but the ones that still feel like they are like real possibilities on the list, to have their input on that, I think would be really valuable.
Cool. It's becoming my experience that DESI is a little more helpful in this space than MASC. Just like Tracy and company don't really know a lot about this because it's not governance related, but there are a couple of DESI contacts and maybe we could explore bringing them in. Either for the retreat or for, I wonder if holding a combined meeting with the school futures and the school committee as we kind of narrow down from this list of 12 to a shorter list to dive deeper into those options, maybe and the finance committee. I don't know. But I have a meeting tomorrow with a couple of the DESI reps that are able to explain more about how superintendency unions work and what changing superintendency unions means for a district, what becoming independent of a larger, all the things that you just explained. It seemed, yeah, so maybe bringing in DESI there would be a good move for everybody to have a fuller scope of what we're talking about.
I mean, the reason that I thought it might be valuable to have Tracy speak to it is just that she clearly has a very solid handle on the finances. I mean, she did the 70 on 70 presentation to us, so I think having her perspective on like any significant financial implications that we should understand could be helpful. But I think having Desi as well is great.
Yeah. She doesn't have amazing context for or I have found she just hasn't had she's referred me out for some of the questions for things like innovation schools because it's outside of her knowledge base. But I think combining the two expertise areas will be helpful. I don't know if that's for a retreat this summer or if it's gonna make more sense for that to be in the fall because, well, maybe this is a question for you both. My instinct is to be sharing that level of detail once the Futures Committee has narrowed down our list to about 5 choices, rather than giving you all like kind of endless data and analysis on all 12 options. Does that make sense to you, or does having a full picture of everything feel important?
Well, if you're gonna narrow.
Yeah, sorry, Margaret.
Gonna narrow things down, it seems like it might be better. And if there are things that you're pretty sure are gonna get pushed aside, that we really wouldn't need input on those. And I wonder, you know, I mean, there are always lots of meetings, but there is the opportunity to have a special meeting that wouldn't be, or even maybe the September meeting, because that typically doesn't have a lot of things happening. The October meeting typically has been the one with more stuff going on, so. Just
to maybe save for September. I'll talk to Sarah Beth a little bit about this, but to maybe plan for in September to talk through that. Timing could probably work nicely because we'll have a report in September. So at that point, being able to kind of just zoom through why we're eliminating some of the choices and then dive deeper into the options.
I will share with Sarah Beth. I tried to put together a tentative agenda for the year.
Okay.
With the things that we have to do and kind of when we've done them. So I'll share that with her.
Great. Okay. Thank you both. Okay, are there any items not reasonably anticipated? I do not think so. All right. Warrant report. I would like to motion to approve the
Consent agenda.
consent agenda. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Let's do a roll call. Margaret,
Yes.
Jenny,
Yes.
Rachel, yes.
And Sarah Bass said at some point she will have the minutes together. Because
Okay.
we're seeing some.
Yep. And I think future agenda planning at this moment is gonna all be in process with that transition as you'll share documents. Okay, I'm gonna move to adjourn then.
Second.
All right, Jenny,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Rachel, yes. Okay, we are adjourned at 6:40. Thank you all. Have a good night.